This is a major breaking news alert in one of the most shocking revelations of the last 20 years. A major YouTube personality online, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, Lisa Haven, has revealed something that is going to make you fall back in your chair. When I saw it earlier today, I could not believe it. She pretty much, on air for everyone to see, admitted that she was a vampire. I mean, it's completely without a doubt. For those of you who are wondering how and where did she do this, well, it was on her brand new channel that she has with Justice Knight, Lisa Haven, Restricted Republic. We've talked about them before. Well, I've always thought it very curious that when they go out, he's always wearing this protective cross in his open shirt. And I'm wondering, what is he so worried about? Are there werewolves in Arizona? Are there vampires? Well, guess what? He was sitting right next to one and he didn't know it. You see, she accidentally, while they were eating, ingested an entire piece of garlic. And she had an almost allergic reaction to it. Now, what do we have here? We have a protective cross being worn, and then a woman eating garlic. Many women enjoy garlic and they don't react that way too. Oh, but there's more. There's absolutely more. You see, we've seen Lisa Haven talk about the mark of the beast and things like this and try to put over this act on us like she's really concerned about it. Well, it was only about a week ago when my suspicions were a little bit piqued because she seemed to enjoy this Bloody Caesar. It's like a Bloody Mary, just a little bit too much with her friends. This is also from their brand new channel, We're Forked Up. But then it gets even more sinister. You see, if you take the name Lisa Haven, it's just an anagram for Evil Sahan. You take all the letters out of Lisa Haven and you rearrange them, and it comes out to the words Evil Sahan. Well, who is Evil Sahan, might you ask? Well, I looked up the Unholy Blood Wiki, and Sahan is a vampire and one of the angels of death that masters hypnosis skills. Well, clearly, now we know how she got so popular on YouTube. She has hypnosis skills. Recruit more vampires and hunt the purebloods. Hunt the purebloods? Wait a minute. Isn't that everybody who doesn't have the... Wow. Even more now when we look back. What do these ritual dances mean that she does outside these restaurants? Right as the sun goes down. And we all know what a triangle means. Anybody who makes a triangle shape with their hands or wears a triangle-shaped dress or has any kind of triangles anywhere, we know what that means. We should really keep Justice Knight in our prayers because he's trapped. He's clearly trapped. Now, for those of you that are wondering and laughing and falling out of your chairs, I'm having a little fun with my friends Lisa Haven and Justice Knight. Of course, she's not a vampire. Of course she's not. But this was too good of a training opportunity to miss. What am I doing here? Well, it's called causation correlation. It's a psychological fallacy where you take two things that seem to be related and say that one is the cause of the other. Has nothing to do with each other. It's like ice cream sales and shark attacks. Both go up in the summertime. Well, clearly selling ice cream to people and then them getting in the water, sharks must love ice cream because that's what's causing them to attack. When clearly, what's the idea? Of course, summertime months, people will go to the beach in much greater numbers. Therefore, there are more shark attacks. That's causation, correlation in a nutshell. Add in a little bit of what they call anecdotal evidence, meaning taking somebody's name and rearranging the letters and then finding some obscure online game, the anime game, and then putting that together and then making that be some type of piece of evidence. It's kind of ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. But this happens all the time. All over YouTube, all the time. Now, one of the funnest things that has happened, at least in my life in the last few months, is Lisa Haven, Justice Knight, Restricted Republic. They largely cover a lot of very serious topics, a lot of very serious things going on in the world. We all need a break. We all need to go do something fun and relax a little bit, and they've created a channel doing that. It's called We're Forked Up, and I believe he at some point might still be, I don't know, executive chef, very knowledgeable about restaurants, what makes a good restaurant, what doesn't. They go out to different restaurants and they have a few drinks, and she dresses a little bit fun, and he has a little bit of fun with her because of it. They're married, just full disclosure, so they have a lot of fun with this, and they go out with friends and do things. It is really a blast. If you haven't subscribed to We're Forked Up, just like it sounds, do it. They would absolutely appreciate it. Lisa Haven, of course, she's been on YouTube for a long time. In fact, let's see here, when did she join? Joined May 7, 2009. So what would that be? 13 years, 110 million views. Lisa Haven here, and then, of course, Restricted Republic. That's their main website where they cover all this stuff. Sign up. They could definitely use the support. Lisa Haven Justice Night, I'm sorry, it was too easy to knock out of the park, to put everything together and to take the opportunity to talk about what my Patreon channel talks about. How to take psychological operations tactics, and those were two simple ones, and use them to influence people that, and let me say this again, I've said it 100 times, I'm going to say it again. There are people out there who believe they're thinking, when really, in reality, all they're doing is living emotionally, going from one feeling to the next feeling. What they believe thinking to be is them just assessing their emotions and how they feel about those emotions. And once the powers that be have you in that place in the world where you don't think about anything, where you don't critically assess anything in your mind, and you just assess your own emotions about it, you are putty. You are easily manipulated. Well, we try to help people break out of this at the Patreon channel. And that's why I have it set at the lowest allowable level, $1 per month. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. Fully refundable first 90 days. It is training everyone is going to have. If you're going to survive. If you're going to be able to see through the cloud. If you're going to be able to operate on the battlefield. If someone could give you, if you're, doing an analogy, a camera you could mount to your helmet, and you could flip it down, and it would allow you to see through fog, see through night, see through rain, even maybe see through brick walls. Would you want that? Would you want that asset? How big of an asset would that give you if you could literally see heat coming through the other side of a brick wall and see where your enemy was, even when they thought they were behind cover? You could see how many of them there were. You could see what they had. That's what psychological operations gives you the ability to do on the mental battlefield, to see right through your enemy. Now, the most recent video, I'll warn you, is one that would probably shock a lot of people. But it's something that's going to come down the pike, and it's going to be something nobody is expecting. Dominion, everyone's ultimate goal, half the population will achieve it. Guess which half? Guess which half? Now, I know we're 8.5 minutes in, but I'm a big believer that if you're going to be doing the time, so to speak, you might as well do the crime. I get a lot of pushback about me talking about this issue with OnlyFans and different platforms, where people, women primarily, are making huge amounts of money, life-changing money, in the privacy of their own homes anonymously. You see, this is a sea change. You see, for many, many years, there's always been the option for women to go do things that are morally gray area to make money, but they've always had to go into public to do it. There's always been that shame factor. And that's what's kept it, relegated to the business districts. And when people found out, they became persona non grata. Well, guess what? Guess what? Now with the advent of high-speed internet, there are just normal, everyday women all across this country making life-changing money behind deadbolts with high-speed internet anonymously. And here's what, and a lot of people say, well, you must really like that. It's not about me liking it or not liking it or otherwise. In this particular article, and I'd really like to get somebody's opinion on this, preschool teacher under fire for making OnlyFans to pay mom's hospital bills. You see, her mother ended up dying of breast cancer. And she was in charge of taking care of the kids. and everybody else. And she was a preschool teacher. And so she opened up this OnlyFans, and she made enough money to take care of everybody. In fact, her mother has passed on, and she's taking care of another friend who has cancer now and paying their bills. Please, down in the comments, tell me how immoral this is. See, this is going to be the new question that people are going to have to ask themselves about what their definition of morality is. But here's my prediction. Here's my prediction, because it's the calling card and the mating card of those who like to operate emotionally. You're going to see people that call themselves conservatives start to pretend they're society's whistleblowers. And they're going to call the IRS. They're going to call local authorities. They're going to say, there's this person that moved to my neighborhood, and she never leaves her house. But she's put an addition on the house, and she put solar panels, and all of a sudden she's got 2 cars, and she's got a boat, and a beautiful backyard. In fact, they even dug a new pool, and I never see her leave, and I never see her go to work. She's clearly doing something illegal. You need to check into this, authorities. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of moralists that aren't going to like this. They aren't going to like it at all. See, there are going to be women not bothering a soul. Not bothering a soul. And they're going to earn enemies simply because they're successful. And yes, you can not show your face on OnlyFans and make a ton of money. This is going to bother a lot of people. It's a huge, huge deal. It is a giant change in this country. See, believe it or not, and this is a whole nother video for a whole nother day, Christian moralists used to be on the left because it was a social thing about gambling and liquor and pornography. It was all balled up into one. Way back in the 1900s, they wanted the gambling establishments closed. They didn't want there to be liquor stores. They didn't want brothels. It was all the same thing to them. But what do we have now? I've never heard one Christian say one word about all the lottery tickets in every gas station from here to Timbuktu. Back 50, 60, 70 years ago, that would have seemed in this church would have been, oh, absolutely. You did not engage in such things. Lottery tickets. You got that much extra money, it needs to go in the plate. It needs to go in the plate for the church. That's what they would have said. And it's the same thing with the liquor stores. They begrudgingly allowed liquor stores. Who remembers when liquor stores were just these brick buildings with one little sign and maybe one little neon sign that maybe said packaged liquor, and that was it. And the window was completely darkened. And there was one way in and one way out. And it's this little tiny place, usually over in a business district. And the same thing went for adult establishments. You see, that was the Christian left. Because all of that was social. That was a social. We can't have this stuff in public. We can't have, we want to be able to walk down the street and not see this and not see that and not see the other. Well, guess what? Guess what? Society has now advanced to the point where all of that immorality can be done behind closed doors. You can gamble behind closed doors in the privacy of your own home. There doesn't need to be a single public gambling establishment for those places to make money. They're going to thrive. Same thing with, you can have liquor delivered. There might not be, in 20 years, there might not be a single brick and mortar liquor store anywhere. Because who would take the risk? Why would you take the risk? Just have it delivered. And now, here's the third piece of the puzzle. You can have this delivered through high-speed internet. Now, some might say it's not the same as the in-person thing, but then again, having a bottle of rum at home with some Cokes is a lot different than sitting in a bar and drinking rum and Cokes and carousing with your friends. It's a very different thing too. But this is not just about enjoyment anymore. This is about people providing incomes at a time when the economy is teetering on the edge of collapse. This type of thing is going to make the difference. It's going to be the tipping point for some people. They either do it or they lose the house. They do it or they lose the car. They do it in this particular case, or they have to file bankruptcy. paying bills. So anyway, I will leave it there, but this is the website if you want to look at it, social.rise, social.rise.com/blog/ how to make money on OnlyFans without showing your face. It's a real link, believe it or not. So anyway, Lisa Haven, Restricted Republic, Justice Knight, thank you. Thank you for letting me indulge my audience a little bit, have a little bit of fun, and show how psychological operations can be used virtually anywhere, at any time, for anything, no matter what. So everyone have a great Sunday. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.